Sound of Metal was written and directed by Darius Marder, yet another directorial debut that I've reviewed this year. It was recently added to Amazon Prime in the US and is coming to the UK on the 29th of January. And it stars Riz Ahmed, Olivia Cooke and Paul Raci. A heavy metal drummer's life begins to unravel as he suddenly and quickly loses his hearing. Welcome back to the channel and to my movie review of Sound of Metal. As a drummer of minimal ability and a big fan of Riz Ahmed, I was very excited about this film, and I was right to be because it's one of the best films I've seen this year. So straight to the good stuff, let's begin with Riz Ahmed, who plays the main character Ruben. I recently watched the HBO miniseries The Night Of starring Riz Ahmed, and he is absolutely incredible in that. He has a huge range and is able to, at least in that series, make you feel great empathy and sympathy towards the character in one moment, and then you fear him in the next. Sound of Metal gives him another chance to display this range, and he absolutely nails it. You feel every moment of his pain, his confusion, his heartbreak and his desperation. The screenplay gives Ruben plenty of drama. He's lost pretty much everything: his future, his career, his hobby, his girlfriend, his dreams. But writer Darius Marder gives Riz Ahmed one more thing to play with. Ruben is a 4-year dry drug addict. So he always feels like he's balancing right on the edge of this precipice, and one bad move and he'll fall in and never recover. And Ahmed is just stunning here. I doubt he'll even get an Oscar nomination for this one, but if you're after a surefire bet, Riz Ahmed will win an Oscar at some point. Get your money on it. Olivia Cooke is also great as Ruben's bandmate and girlfriend Lou. She has to confront a new future too. Her band is gone and her boyfriend's in a situation where she can't really help. It's heartbreaking what they have to go through in order to get Ruben in the best place for him. And Ahmed's performance, especially in this first quarter, is so good because he has Olivia Cooke to bounce off. Now, I've looked everywhere on the internet and on YouTube for how you pronounce this actor's surname, but the third star of the show is Joe, played by Paul Raci. I'm pronouncing it Raci because I heard someone else say it, but if it's Raci or Reiki or Raci, please let me know in the comments below because I just don't know. Anyway, that's not really important. What is important is this actor, who I've never actually seen before, had me welling up on more than one occasion. Joe has such an abundance of warmth, and it's a character you don't need masses of backstory to understand just who he is. He's like one of those revered family members who you just can't let down, you can't disappoint him. And the rest of the cast are all excellent. All the people left in Joe's commune are played by actors from the deaf community. Often when these characters are communicating using ALS, that's American Sign Language, there's no subtitles. This is a bold approach, but it's one that I thought really paid off. We're effectively totally immersed in Ruben's world. He often doesn't know what people are saying to each other, and neither do we as viewers. It's a great device to get us all on the same page. So a film that focuses on deaf people and music has to have great sound design. Thankfully, Sound of Metal's sound design is absolutely incredible and the star of the show. They might as well hand out the Best Sound Oscar right now because I can't see anything beating this. I used headphones whilst watching and listening to Sound of Metal, and I strongly recommend you do the same if you can. The way Ruben's failing hearing is represented is very realistic as far as I can tell. Later in the film there are some really harsh sound effects, and I actually had to turn the volume down because it was so unpleasant to listen to. And again, it totally brought me into Ruben's world. I was feeling what he was feeling. In some brief establishing shots of grassy fields around Joe's commune, the sound is dialed up slightly. The wind across the grass rustles and whistles, and it kind of accentuates what we hear compared to what Ruben and the other characters don't hear. Sound of Metal is also a very emotional movie because of the quality of the acting and the writing and the way that the film really immerses the viewer. You feel all the gut punches. You share the feelings of loss and desperation and disappointment that all these characters are going through. It really got to me at more than one point, and the final scene of the film is one of the best I've seen for a very long time. It's absolutely beautiful and it really left me feeling emotional. If you haven't seen Sound of Metal yet, are you planning to? And what's drawing you to it the most? If you've been lucky enough to see Sound of Metal, did you enjoy it as much as me? Was there anything you didn't enjoy about it? Do you think it could be in the running for the Oscars? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're enjoying this review, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click on that subscribe button. And if you like this video, please like this video. There's very little I didn't like about Sound of Metal. I would be getting into really tiny nitpicking for the most part. My main issue with the film, and it isn't a big deal, I felt it ran a little bit too long. There's a little dip in the pacing in between the second and third act, I just thought it could have been tightened up just a little bit. But that's really it for the negatives. In summary, Sound of Metal is a brilliantly made movie with two standout performances from Riz Ahmed and Paul Rachi, along with great support from Olivia Cook and the rest of the cast. Its sound design is impeccable and it enables the viewer to be drawn into a story where you'll feel every emotional bump in the road. It'll definitely be making an appearance in my top 10 films of 2020. My score for Sound of Metal is 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching.
Game over, man.